Welcome everybody to the Queens Historical Society's next program, the In Your Neighborhood Guyanese Pine Tart. I want to thank everybody for coming out today on this slightly warmer Saturday, much better than yesterday's pouring rain, but thankfully we're all inside and we don't have to go through all of the mud. My name is Jaron Halfpap. I'm the Education and Outreach Coordinator here at the Queens Historical Society. And the Queens Historical Society is all about sharing and presenting the culture of Queens. And as part of that, the In Your Neighborhood series is about showing a glimpse into the various different places and cultures that we have in Queens. Today, we're going to be with Aliana and her mom. Aliana is the Queens Historical Society's graphic designer, and she volunteered to show us the Guyanese pine tart, which is a favorite dish in Guyana, South Africa. So I'll let Aliana talk a little bit more about the pine tart and a bit more about its context, and then we'll learn how to make some of our own. So Aliana, you are on stage.
Hi, this is my mom, Naomi, and I'm Aliana, and we're going to be making pine tart, which is a favorite of Guyana, and Guyana is on the tip of South America. We consider it part of the Caribbean, and it's, sorry, I got distracted by my sister. Yeah, it's the south tip. It's at the top tip of South America, so it's above Brazil. And it was once a part of the three Guyanas, which is Dutch Guyana, British Guyana, and French Guyana. Mm-hmm. Guyana is now called just Guyana, which was formerly British Guyana, and Dutch Guyana is now called Suriname, and French Guyana is the same. Guyana is known for its 6 races, which is the East Indian, the Native Americans, which we call Amerindians, the Africans, Portuguese, the English, and the Chinese. I know that's usually surprising for a lot of people. The Chinese people are in South America, but they're all over the Caribbean. And usually our food is a mixture of all the cultures, so hopefully this can show a little bit. I know some people say, like, I saw one place where it said that the short crust for the pine tart is from the British. Not completely sure because we actually don't know, but we're just going to be showing you. And the pineapple is one of the favorite fruits of Guyana, and it's usually super sweet. Mm-hmm. That's why I use it. If it's ripe. If it's ripe. Super ripe. Yeah, so my mom actually recently told me that she didn't make pine tart for a while when she was younger. She saw her mom making it when she was about 8. Yeah, right. And why did they stop?
Because the Prime Minister of Guyana banned foreign foods like flour, sardine, and stuff. And so we had to grow in everything, but we couldn't grow flour because flour doesn't grow in Guyana. Yeah. And pretty much.
Yeah, so they banned foreign imports, such as flour, so they couldn't bake for a while. So they want to encourage people to get back to their roots and make stuff from Guyana. So like a lot of natural things like fruits and vegetables that you can grow in your own backyard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll start, and my mom's actually.
So first, I buy a ripe
pineapple,
and I wash it. I took out the top and wash it with soap because of COVID. Never mind, I just used to wash it, and
then she peeled it.
I peeled it, look the skin, and you put the skin in water and
put it in a jam.
And you put it, you put what do you call it? Cinnamon and sugar, and you can leave it overnight. Then you strain it, and you get the juice, pineapple juice to drink. And then the pineapple, we pulse it. I cut it up in like 4 squares, take out the middle part, and we pulse it, and I'm draining the water out.
So we can make more pine juice, and so we can make the jam with the pulp. And so for the crust,
Can I ask a quick question?
yes.
What did you use to pulp the pineapple? Just a blender?
Yeah, we use a blender and use pulse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the for pulse. And then yeah, we poured it out into a strainer, or last time we used a rag, like a really thin rag to strain it, squeeze out the juice, and
Not rag, towel.
A towel. We squeeze out the juice, and then we put the pulp into another pot so we can cook it down.
And we take the juice from the pulp and we make juice. I don't know if you can see that. We make juice from it to drink.
Which we have here. Hold on.
Yeah, which you have here. We make the drink here.
Yes. And so for the crust, we're going to mix 2 3/4 flour.
And so after we add the flour, we're gonna put the
2 teaspoons sugar.
Yes.
We use brown sugar. Usually we use like Guyanese brown sugar if we can find it, which in Queens you definitely can.
Any suggestions of places to find it?
Yes, we have well, Liberty Avenue definitely has a lot of brown sugar. We get cane brown sugar. And usually any Guyanese markets in Queens, like they're usually vegetable shops on the corners.
Like Key Food, Ideal Shop, they have it.
Yes, and on Liberty in Jamaica.
Everywhere.
Yeah, cane sugar. And then a pinch of salt.
A pinch of salt. I have to really get a pinch. Let me see. A pinch. So I sprinkle over the salt.
And then
we add a little bit turmeric.
It's for color.
Yeah, I put a lot the last time.
We don't need a lot. This one's super pigmented.
So like that. Just a dash, yes.
Yeah. Might need a little bit more than that.
It's fine. I want to put more. Like the last time, put like 3-4 times.
Yes. If you want a measurement, maybe half a teaspoon.
And now I'm going to mix this up together. Then I'm going to add
room temperature butter.
Yes.
Usually we use salted, but I only have unsalted, so we may actually need to add more salt.
That's fine.
Yeah. In this case, we've done that.
Yeah, I don't know how you get.
If you didn't have time to add to melt the butter. Oh, yeah. If you didn't have time to add the butter, then I put it in the microwave for like, if it's from the fridge, I put it in the fridge for about
you can see
20 seconds. If it's not melted enough, like soft.
I'm mixing the butter like this.
And make it into crumbs. I see someone asked, is turmeric a spice common to Guyanese cuisine?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Indian.
Yeah, to Indo-Guyanese food. We usually put it in curry or anything that we need coloring for. What else do you put in?
You can put in fried rice, you can make tea. People take turmeric and they have the pill turmeric and they drink it because it's good for your body. And so this is how I mix the butter into the flour.
Make it into like crumbs.
Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for a long time, so making roti and stuff.
You can use the same dough to make cheese roll, which is another pastry from Guyana. You just basically stuffed with cheese, grated cheese. And I was asked, why do you use warm butter instead of cold? It's because it can melt into the flour and mix it better.
And mix it better because if it's cold, it can be harder to mix it. Maybe if you can show them this, how it looks.
It's more like crumbs.
Yeah.
And now we're going to add the Crisco. And the
this is vegetable lard. or vegetable butter. So I'm gonna mix it just like the butter.
Oh, it is so for the butter you use 1 whole stick, that's
Yeah.
about a cup, and then you use half a cup of the lard.
Or you call it shortening too.
The shortening, yes.
And we'll be posting a copy of the recipe as well.
Yeah, we have the recipe. So this is how it looks like when it's going.
Yeah, it gets even more crumbly.
Yeah, look. So I have to mix all this lard into the flour.
If you can't find lard, you can also substitute it with butter, regular butter.
Yeah, some people do just butter.
My aunt also uses vegetable oil.
Yeah.
As a substitute.
My hands hurt.
Now I'll get the ice cold water.
You put it in the fridge?
Yes. So originally I actually got this out and put actual water in it, ice in it, but then I had time, so I just put it in the fridge to keep it cool. Do you need water?
Yeah. Hold on.
Someone asked if you can use all butter. Yes.
Yeah, you can use all butter. But Crisco vegetable shortening, you find it at the vegetable store also. But I don't have the packet. Give me water. Try a little bit, yes.
And then you throw in the water a little at a time until it mixes. I know some people online said it was like sort of like a crust. That's why they call it short crust kind of pastry. And we use fresh pineapples because it's usually freshly grown in Guyana. And it's usually, they're super sweet. I read that there's 4 types of pineapple, but you tend to use the sweetest one, which actually has a shorter shelf life than the ones usually imported.
When you use a ripe one, you don't have to put a lot of sugar, because if you have the green one, you have to make it sweet. So you have to add more
sugar.
More sugar to it. So the sweet one, you use less sugar.
And my mom washes the pineapple with salt. She rubs salt all over and then she washes it. Yeah, after she peels it. Yeah. She rubs salt all over and then washes it off. She says it makes it sweeter.
Ooh.
Her hands are getting tired. Oh, and if you needed to find a shortcut for pineapple for the jam, you can just buy a can of jam, pineapple jam, and stuff it in the pastry dough. Someone asked what kind of salt. I just use regular salt. I just use anything I can find. And Guyanese people love to use all the pieces of things that you make, like the pineapple, they use the skin, and the center is usually put in the pineapple water juice.
Some more water.
She took out a giant ball here, and then she's mixing up the rest of the dry ingredients so she can paste it together.
How do you know when to stop adding water?
If it's...
Everything is like in a clump.
But it's not wet. It's dry, so it won't stick to your hands. And in Guyana, we usually eyeball everything, so we have to figure out how to do it, measure everything.
So this is the pan. No flour.
Yeah, everything sticks, so you have to
everything is off. So now we put them together.
Now she mashes it.
Give me a little bit of water. A little bit.
So I know we said 3 cups.
This is kneading.
She's kneading the dough. I know she said we said 3/4 cup of ice water, but you may not end up using all of it.
I'm just piecing them together.
Some places you can find pineapple too, or other vegetables from the Caribbean, or fresh coconut. Is in Queens, there's little vans during the summer. They tend to like park up on the street on Hillside Avenue or Jamaica Avenue, or down Hempstead Avenue, and you can find fresh fruit. Like I know they cut open coconuts, and you can get like the jelly from the inside, which is delicious. And they should have ripe pineapples. I'm not sure.
So, I don't know. I think they do when they peel it for you and give it to you.
They also have the sugar cane, which the sugar is usually made from cane sugar. I see someone asked. Yeah, big ups to Costco. Yeah, so that's where I got it.
Costco should have the Crisco, the vegetable shortening.
Yeah. We usually buy Caribbean brands, so I usually buy my spices in Queens from the vegetable shops, usually run by other Guyanese people. But also you can get from the Indian store. What's that Indian store? Well, there's a store called Bismillah on Hillside Avenue, and there's like a popular brand. Patel Brothers. You can probably also find other spices at Patel Brothers. And Liberty Avenue, you'll be able to find a lot on Liberty Avenue. Oh, and Little Guyana, which is down on Jamaica at 180th Street. Or Richmond Hill. I forgot there's another store in Richmond Hill. Little Guyana.
All right. So roll this now. Roll it and put it in.
Just slightly sticky to the touch.
Yeah, not too much.
And then you'll take it out. You roll it into a log.
Cut them in half and roll it.
As my mom said, to cut it in half. Helps if you roll it into a ball.
Mm-hmm.
You make it into a log.
Is there a specific size that the log should be?
It should probably be about 1.5 inches, so that when you cut it later after putting it in the fridge, you can have little rounds. I know my sister, she likes to cut it out with a round cutter or a knife, but well, we used a jar cover because we don't have a cookie cutter. So I'll show you actually. You just use the cover of a jar and twist to cut it. But the Guyanese people usually just roll it into a circle. And then you'll wrap this in saran wrap. Put it in the fridge for 2 hours. You can take it out slightly earlier, but this is the one I made earlier. I put a ton of turmeric. I did not measure that, so it looks super yellow. And I think I may have not put enough flour, but we'll see.
And this is how it's cut up, the pine.
And you cut it into squares.
And then you can eat it.
Or cubes. Eat as you go. My mom loves to eat.
Yeah, so I love to eat.
And then with this, you cut it in little 1/2 inches. And then you can take a baking sheet. My aunt found this online. It's a good hack. So we usually roll it on like what's a
rolling pin.
With the rolling pin, and what do you call it? You put it on the Guyanese?
Bella.
The belna, which is literally like, it looks like a cutting board, a wooden cutting board, but it's round and you usually roll
tower. No.
Chowky.
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 Yeah.
That's what they call the. Tao is the pan. The chowky is the.
Where you put the flour and then you roll it.
Yes. As my mom was saying, Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey.
Bailey is rolling. So then you sandwich it between the cookie sheets. What are they called?
Sandwich.
And then you roll it. It's not the best surface for this. Here, you roll it. My mom is better at this.
You keep turning it. This is fancy rolling pin. You gotta get used to it. Turn it around.
This is so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin, which is always happens with these. And you don't have to use too much flour, because if you keep adding flour to it, it gets too stiff.
Wrong, Mia.
My mom actually made it round.
Get the ends.
Oh, no, it's okay. And this is why we use the paper.
Hey, it's okay. Just take it back. Hey, good.
And now it's round. Then there's a jam.
So this is the pulse pineapple that we pulse it, and I drain the water from it, and then I put it on the fire.
We have to childproof these because people kept bumping into it.
Just take.
I don't know. Oh, I was trying to turn it over one. Here we go. On low. A very low setting. You're gonna keep this. So now you add the sugar. Oh, someone asked if the pine is mashed during cooking. No, actually, it cooks down, and we keep the texture because the texture is good for inside. Yeah, this is what it looks like. It's actually like jam, like actual jam with the little. It's thick and it has like a little pulp in it.
Yeah.
So we don't try to cook it down too much.
Not eat it.
My aunt likes to tell her husband to eat it with crackers, which is also delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So my mom's gonna add the sugar and the vanilla, the nutmeg, and the cinnamon. The sugar depends on how sweet the pineapple is and also how much sweetness you can take. So taste it as you go. You might want to hold off on adding more sugar until later on after it's cooked down a little bit more.
Nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon.
Where's your measuring?
This thing is tiny. I got that can come out.
And I got no wings, so she's gonna take it off.
So 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg.
This is assuming you have a whole pineapple.
It's a whole pineapple we use.
Yeah.
1/4. 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. Where's the cinnamon? Here. So this is a 1/4. I'm gonna add 2, so it's 1/2.
My mom likes to use an actual cinnamon stick. In this case, she's using the cinnamon powder.
Because I don't know where my cinnamon stick went.
Now,
Then we put
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon vanilla. You get vanilla extract or essence. This is one it's supposed to find. This is 2.
I don't know what it is, so you can use the 2 in.
There, I'm gonna average just 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, okay?
Oh, it's in here.
Oh geez. Okay. This is 1. I'm gonna measure it. 1/2. So half, a little bit more than this. And half. This is a 1 teaspoon. So I'll put half. Stir it up. And then we can put the sugar.
Just for 1 teaspoon.
Sugar, 5 tablespoons. The other one. 5 tablespoons. 1. I'll put 2 for now because it's sweet. And stir it up.
Get some for half a cup.
Yeah, but this one's okay.
And half a cup.
Oh,
Here.
damn.
To the last sugar. Oh, this one's sweeter, so you might not need as much sugar.
Just put a little more, that's it. If you gotta give them a measurement. Okay. So I'm stirring everything together. We have everything. So we have to wait until it caramelizes, like the other one. So we keep stirring it, okay? So we gotta let the water dry
And that'll
down.
cook.
And then when you finish, it looks like this, okay? And
Big beef.
yeah,
Cook this too long.
I think it's about.
Oh, and when you, someone asked how much cinnamon stick you use. We usually use one big one. And for the dough, how you assemble it is you do an egg wash. It looks like the camera fell into the dough.
Oh noes.
It's okay. Just tilting this down a little bit. Okay. Now you put the jam in the center.
Put over this. This one is big. Then you spread it.
And don't get it all the way to the edges because it might spill out if you do that. And then you use egg whites to seal the edges.
Okay. Egg whites. Oh, this is a lot. Yeah, teaspoon.
Then you fold over into a triangle.
Wait, let me. Really, you're good at this. This. Okay. Now you're gonna fold it. This part is very difficult. It's moving. Stick it to the paper.
Yeah, I did not do a good batch before.
There is Rhea.
It shouldn't be this sticky, by the way. In the recipe, the measurements will be sent to you.
Oh my God. This is.
And we'll be posting a recipe, the text version of the recipe, both on our website and also in chat as we go over the sections.
This thing is cool. That's why you're doing this. Okay. It's not cold.
Do you want to try cutting it? Let's do it with the more proper one that my mom did.
But it's supposed to be cool. But anyway, let's do it. Give me a piece.
So I kind of ruined that piece of dough. So we'll do it with her piece of dough.
It's supposed to be cold.
It's supposed to be cold, but
it's not cold.
Desperate times.
Try the other piece. Here's the put it on. And now it's done. All this is done. You better get that from in there. Let's see.
We have someone who asked, how many pies can be made from one pineapple?
20, 22.
Depending on the size, we made a small batch. If you made perfect circles, there should be about 22. If you make them like about 4.5 inches after you roll it out. If you use the small one, you can make about 25. And if you decide to cut it out with a cookie cutter or a jam cover, a jar cover, you can use the excess dough and make any extras, which should come out to about 25, depending on the size of the cover. But it should be less than 4.5 inches. This is my sister's way of cutting it. Which probably was a little faster. There you go. Do the egg wash first before you put the jam.
Here, you come do the egg wash.
So add back the egg
We
wash.
had someone ask that once you're finished rolling, could you show us how thinly you've rolled it out? Could you bring it a little closer to the camera?
Super thin.
I love it. I guess it's like, if you've ever made a pierogi, that's how thin it should be. It's I guess, really like a millimeter, about a millimeter, but like not enough to tear. Yeah, so thin enough that it's crispy, sort of, when you pull it out of the oven, but thin, but big enough that it won't tear apart as you fold it.
There you go. I know, Maria. And you press the front and the sides so it wouldn't come out, okay?
And make sure there's no gap here, so the jam doesn't come out.
So you cover it and you press it down. There you go. And then you take a fork.
No, and then you use the egg wash over there. And that's
This
you
one?
use the egg yolk, yes. Yes, I know. Use the egg yolk to do an egg wash.
To rub it on it.
Could you turn the camera a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
It's so tiny, too tiny.
My mom usually makes it a lot bigger.
Yeah. So when I put them in a triangle, like you make you fold it, then you fold the other side, then you fold the bottom. You can do another one and show you without the pineapple jam. And then this is it. And
Then you take a baking tray and you rub butter all over it, like really thin layer of butter. And then it might be helpful to use a tissue to rub the butter. And then you sprinkle flour on top to make sure that it doesn't stick to it.
like this.
Then you rub butter, sprinkle flour, and then place them on top in alternating size. Is the jam twice the width of the pastry?
I think depth.
It's about like an inch, half an inch ball of jam.
It's like a teaspoon, like a small teaspoon.
Yeah.
Where's a teaspoon? Or like you take a small teaspoon and you put some in the middle and you spread it.
Yeah, if it's too much, just take out some.
Yeah, if it's too much, you can take it out, but you spread it so the top can get and the bottom.
The sides,
So all of it can get the jam inside.
Is there any consequence to adding too much?
No,
Yes.
at least you have to make sure it covered with the flour, the
Yeah.
dough.
If it's too much and it can't close, then take out some because it
It'll
won't
be too
close.
much.
Oh, and some tip my aunt gave was to take a fork and poke around the seams Actually, she said toothpick, but since I have the fork here, and poke around so that when you bake it,
Yes.
it doesn't spill out and it doesn't have a ripping, like the steam comes out because of the steam. She usually makes it with the juice, but the jam cooks faster without the juice.
Yes.
Then you put this on the baking tray and you should bake it for about 20 minutes.
Yes.
And someone asked, once you're finished rolling, could you please show us how? Oh, okay.
Yes, you could totally make these bigger. These are
Yes.
snackable sizes. My sister likes the small size, so she uses that small rolling pin. But the cover. Usually it's slightly bigger than this. Probably make it like pie size, but they'll have to bake longer. You can use it. The oven is at 350.
Yeah. This one. Let's see if I can make this bigger, but we have no big one. And so we have no jam yet. Put this in here. No, all of this. All of this. All of this. You want to move this somewhere?
Yes.
No enough time for that.
Oh, and before you put the jam in, make sure it cools so that it's not hot when it goes in. It should be room temperature cooling. And it should be dark brown by the time the jam is done.
There you go.
Yeah, she made
It
it.
doesn't matter how you cook, how you look. Then you can fold it like that. You see? Then you make another fold. You put the jam in it inside and you fold.
Fold into triangles like a skirt.
Yeah. And then you take the ends and you fold it. So you cover every part, this one. So everywhere it has it. And then, so that's it. And this one is bigger than the small one.
Yeah.
Can't even see. See? Look at that pan. So this how big this one is. It's bigger. You can make them big, how big you want them.
And that's basically, we did bake it with my batch of dough, which wasn't great. So it might not look that wonderful.
Do you have a picture of what we did last week?
Yes, I have a picture in my phone. Look, picture. I'll show you the bad batch. Any Star Wars fans will know what that means. Excuse me. I can share this, but how do I share it? Oh, I guess in the chat. I'm not in your chat. Oh.
No, it wasn't cool or something.
No, it's because I probably didn't put enough flour when I did this. So it's too much butter. Too much butter is very bad. I sent it to your Facebook, so maybe you can share it with that. And this is what happens when you have too much butter. It does not turn out well.
What do
And
they
it
look like
will
on the
ex-
inside?
The inside, just a second. I sent the picture to you so you can share it.
Oh, it's getting better. See, it was yellow before. Now it's getting brown because of the sugar and the fire. You got more water in here, so you can fry it down. We're done.
Let's get a plate to show us what the inside will look like.
Yep. It's in the fridge.
So, about what time of day would these be enjoyed, and what would you eat these with usually?
Well, my aunt likes to drink it with soda, but you can drink this with anything. Maybe probably
Water.
Yeah, water. You can use any jam if you want it enough pine for it. If you don't want to make it with pine, you could probably put any kind of jam like guava, apple, mango. Yeah, and you can probably buy the jar from any supermarket, any jam jar, like not the completely pureed, like completely blended ones, because they'll be too smooth. Just ones with like little bits and pieces in there. Yeah. And this is hot. I don't know if you can see. It's like a thin layer of jam in there. And we'll be sending a picture of how it actually looks like. The last batch. Oh, the crust batch. Just a second. So where you can buy good pine tart, if you want to know what it tastes like and looks like, you can find that. Just a second.
I want to say thank you.
So you can find it at usually on Liberty Avenue. Lots of people sell things.
Pine tart.
Yeah.
Pine.
The pine tart.
Oh.
Yeah, you can find it all over the place in Liberty Avenue. That's where the huge Guyanese community is. Lots of Guyanese people are there. They usually move to Richmond Hill or Ozone Park. And you can also find it in Jamaica. You can find it at Sybil's.
Yeah, Sybil's.
There's two shops. There's one on Hillside in Jamaica.
169.
169th Street.
And 133rd.
You can take the F train to 169. And then the other is at 133rd Street and Liberty Avenue.
Yes.
And then there's also Kaichor, which is another Guyanese shop.
183rd and on Hillside and 183rd Street.
Yes, and then that's actually a second location. The first location is also in Liberty. Freshly baked is better. And always, the freshly baked is always better, so always eat that. And then there's Fozzie's Delight in Queens Village, which is at 218 around. It used to be called Caribbean Delight, but they changed the name. Not sure why.
And you can get this at any Indian vegetable store. They have it in there too with Guyanese bread and Chinese rolls.
Oh yeah, sometimes they'll have like the other baked goods in the vegetable stores in Queens.
Yeah.
Usually if it's run by Guyanese people, you'll find it. Somebody asked if the pineapple in the pot is the whole pineapple.
Actually, 2/4 pine.
In this one, no, but usually we do cook it with the whole pineapple. But my mom wanted to eat some, so she ate some. So this is 3/4. So she reduced the amount of measurements she used in the.
Because it's sweet, so I want to eat some.
Oh, and I will be sending you a picture of what it actually looks like, because this was not done very well.
I've got a question. What other kinds of breads would you be able to find Guyanese breads in a Queens-based Guyanese pastry shop?
What Guyanese pastry shop is that?
They have something called Salara. It's everything dough with the same dough, and they grate the coconut, the dry coconut. It's brown and it's in stores too. And you crack it open and you put it in the blender and like bend fine.
A Guyanese place on Avenue that I go to.
Or some stores have the packet with the coconut chip up already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dry.
What's the name of that Guyanese pastry store that I go to get breads and Salara? Little Guyana? No, the other one. Or is it Trinity? The one I go to. You can go to Trinity stores too, because sometimes they
have it too. They do it too.
They sell Guyanese stuff too. There's usually vegetable stores along
Show them a salad.
like a stretch along 180. Kasim's.
Yeah.
Kasim's Bakery. Kasim's Bakery has like a lot of stuff. Oh, that's on Jamaica. Baked, yes. Jamaica Avenue and about 170, 169. 169, yes. Yeah. And they have a lot of Guyanese baked goods. You can find Salara, pine tart, cheese roll if you love cheese. I think they have cheese straw, which is I love cheese. They have
This is roti.
They have anywhere you can find roti.
I don't know if you
curry.
can see, but
They
let me
also
look
have
at
pound
this.
cake. Yeah, images.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is
Mithai.
mithai. This here is. What is that? This is bake. They call it bake. I don't know if you can see it, but they call them bake. Show it. Show them bake. That's bake.
That's bake. So
Huh?
the lights. Yeah, so that's bake color.
I heard it. You
Yeah.
too.
In Guyana, we usually eat this with saltfish,
Yes.
and egg if you don't have saltfish. So eggs, great.
This is
Great breakfast. This
no.
is cheese roll.
This.
It's the same dough. You just roll it differently, and it's filled with cheese. All right. Cheese and pepper, which is usually cheddar.
So, what other things would you say make you described it as Little Guyana more unique as a place in Queens?
There's not actually a lot of places. I know there's some places in the Bronx and Brooklyn that have Guyanese stuff, but in terms of like, in terms of Queens, my sister goes to all the Guyanese places. So she likes the best from Cuisine's, the bakery. Kissim. Kissim. Ka. Oh, Kassim. Kassim. And you can find that in Jamaica. I know a lot of people who aren't Guyanese like to get, if you want Guyanese food, they love it from Sings. Not Sings. Kassim's. What are you talking about? No, Sybil's. Sybil's, yes. Sybil's has really good curry. And they have other baked goods. Apparently, their best selling, the most things that they sell is pine tart. They make thousands a day.
So is pine tart like a favorite of Guyanese people?
West Indian.
West Indian?
Yeah.
It's I know Trinidadians, Jamaicans. Is it Jamaicans? Do Jamaicans eat it? I'm not Trinidadians or Guyanese. They have. We all have, and we all love to eat it around snack time. In Guyana, you can buy it from a road shop, which is the shops on the side of the road. Oh, I actually have a pack of that. So if you're being lazy, you can use that. So if you're being lazy and you want to make pulari, which is a Guyanese thing, it's like Guyanese people actually make it with chickpeas.
No.
It's like, what is it? Chickpea flour?
No, hold on. What do you call it? Split
peas. It's yellow peas, right?
Yellow peas.
And Trinidadians make it with flour.
Same thing.
Oh.
Flour, chickpeas. Not chickpeas.
Split
no.
peas.
Split peas. You saw some of the split peas?
They said, can you bring the iPad closer, please? I couldn't see the photos clearly.
Go.
Okay. This is Kalari. Did you show a picture? I don't know how to do it. Sorry, I was trying to share what the pine tart's actually supposed to look like.
So in Guyana, how familiar are you with the difference between the food that you'd find in like a big city or in the countryside? Because Guyana has a lot of different kinds of places in it, right?
Yeah, so actually Gordon Ramsay actually went to Guyana fairly recently, and he showed our national dish, which is pepper pot. And he actually went more into the bush in the, what do you call it?
Interior.
The interior where the Amazon is. So the Amazon runs slightly into Guyana. So if you're a venture seeker, you can go to Guyana to climb for Mount Roraima.
We have the tallest
waterfall?
The waterfall.
Kaichor? Yeah, that's why some of the places you'll find named Kaichor. And then you have, I think this like a flat top mountain called Mount Roraima. Yeah, so a lot of adventure people like to go there. Also, we have a lot of rivers and a lot of sea monsters. If you ever see river monsters, you can see it there. They actually did an episode in Guyana where they were looking for river monsters.
Talking about like big fish with teeth,
Pardon?
like big fish.
Yeah, actually, they actually do a lot of seafood. Hassa in Guyana, which is, do you call it hassa here?
Yeah.
Hassa, the fish with all the scales on the outside. It's actually much better in Guyana because it's super fresh. They usually farm it and sell it on the roadside, like right from the seawall. So they have a wall along the sea that they farm. They get the shrimp and hassa. What else do you have?
We have a lot of fish. Gilbaka.
Gilbaka.
That's hassa.
It's very blurry.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's the mouth.
My mom's trying to find what hassa is.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Could you share a few links? We got some people who'd like to look these things up and save them later. Or if you have any other resources that you'd love to share so people can learn more about Guyana.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I also have actually have a Pinterest. Maybe I can share that with you. I have a recipe section specifically for Guyanese desserts, Guyanese food. One thing we love to eat is mango sour, which is we eat with everything. It's usually just mango with like cooked down to eat with like pilari.
You cut it up and you put it in a pot like the pine, and you put some salt, a garlic, and pepper.
Which
and
we use wiri pepper.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Guyanese people like to grow their own. It's called cherry pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called cherry pepper or wiri pepper. You'll find that in stores in Jamaica or Liberty Avenue too, because both areas have a good population of Guyanese people. Most of them are in Liberty Avenue and Ozone Park, Richmond Hill.
Could you describe the significance of the pineapple to Guyana?
You know?
I don't know, but I love to.
My mom actually really loves Guyanese fruits. So that's usually one of the ones that grows in Guyana, like super sweet. I know they like our environment's super conducive to that type of tropical fruit. I know
But they're not native, are they?
No, actually, they were from. Hold on, where is it? Is it Paraguay or? I believe you have so many tabs open. It's so difficult to find. It's in the drive. I don't know how to work your computer. Okay, just a second. Drive. Where is you here?
If we were to swap out the jelly inside of those pastries, would you suggest other fruits, or is it really meant for just pineapple?
It's got pineapple, so that's what you put it.
You can use other things, but it won't be called pine tart.
Yeah, it would be
Fair
something tart.
It'll just be like a tart, like another tart. I'm always cooking that. The jam usually gets a little darker, like a light brown.
So the water is getting done, so a few more minutes, this is done.
And if you squeeze out all the juice, and it usually
gets
cooks faster. But if it starts to get dry, you can put some of the juice back in to hydrate it a little bit more. But yes, you can use any fruit, just it won't be pine tart. Someone says, can you do a video of pepper sauce sometime?
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be amazing. What, pepper sauce? Yeah. Oh, geez. Okay, so how much you put. Pepper sauce is super hot. But I guess if you put just a little bit, I know a lot of Guyanese places, they water it down a little bit because they try to stretch it. But usually it's like thicker in consistency. And what would be good is also doing grind seasoning. So a lot of cultures actually have what we call green seasoning. What do you call it, green seasoning? You just call it, what do you call it?
Green seasoning.
Yeah. So a lot of cultures have it. It's usually, I forgot what Hispanic people call it. But it's usually a mixture of like shallot, which is, what's shallot called?
Hold on, leek?
No.
Or, God. Oh, my brain is so shattered.
We call it shallot, but I'm trying to figure out what the American word for it is because it's definitely not shallots.
Shallot is the
No, shallots are like an onion looking thing.
Green onion. They
Green, it is a green onion?
Yeah.
It's not a long green thing.
Green onion.
Let me find it.
And then with onion, garlic. Is that it, Ma?
Yes.
And lemon? You put lemon in there or lime?
Pepper?
No, for green seasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep it a little
Here
longer.
is the recipe for the pepper sauce.
You can go to Alica's Pepper Pot.
Alicia's,
Alicia. Alica.
whatever.
Could you post that into chat?
Yes. Keep posting.
And is Guyana famous for its pineapples? Does it export them, or is it more famous for something else?
I think, what do Guyanese people export?
The export. Let me see.
We usually
Pepper?
export sugar because it was a sugar
Pepper?
plantation.
I know the
We export pepper, yes.
you pepper the pineapple because USDA don't accept any other fruits of Guyana. No mango. No nothing.
Yeah, it's such a
except
shame.
pineapple.
Oh, scallion, yes, thank you, Dan.
Italian.
It is a scallion. I was looking for scallion. We call it shallot.
Yeah.
So if you guys can't export other fruits to the United States, what do Guyanese people in America have to do? Do they just have to settle for whatever fruits
Yes,
or
yes.
varieties
So,
of fruits we
when
get?
I first moved here, I was so used to eating mango with pepper and salt and pepper, that I was really sad that I couldn't get the mango. So my aunt told me just cut up a apple. And actually, apple tastes really good with salt and pepper. Yeah, it's really surprising, but it was really good. So I usually substitute fruits here, but a lot of the fruits in Guyana are super sweet, and I miss it so much. My mom misses it a lot.
Yep.
It's been a while
I
since
haven't
she's
gone
had.
home in 20 years.
What's the
Yeah.
biggest difference between Queens and where you lived in Guyana?
Actually, Guyana is tropical.
Yeah.
No snow, no ice, no anything.
I know Florida is probably the closest thing in
Yes,
terms
to
of
Guyana.
climate to Guyana. I went on my honeymoon to Melbourne, and it was super tropical. It totally made me feel like I was in Guyana because the ocean was like right there.
And we used to live next to an ocean too, the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, we used to live right across the street from it.
Yeah.
It was really nice. So we have a seawall because we're below sea level, so we don't get flooded.
Let's go out. I was able to share.
Okay.
My sister shared some links with you.
No, the pepper sauce.
Did you share the pine tart?
You still don't know how to do it.
My sister still hasn't figured out how to share the pine
I
tart.
don't know how to work these apple stuff.
You can share it.
We'll be sending a follow-up email with the recipes and the photographs. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out for those, and we'll include it in there.
Yes. I know my mom loves to eat, was it kaichor?
Yeah, the food.
Yeah.
Hibiscus.
And hibiscus. Hibiscus is another restaurant
It took a while.
in Queens Village. So whichever area you're near, you can probably find. I live in Forest Hills right now, so I can't find Indian food, Guyanese food, Indo-Guyanese food. So I just settle for Indian, which a new Indian restaurant opened up near me. So closest thing to curry. Our curry is slightly different. I know when in Guyana we made our curry with mango in it. Was it green mango?
Mm-hmm.
We put green mango in the curry. And it tasted delicious. But over here, mango's so expensive, so we don't do that.
I used to climb the tree. My mom had 2 trees in the backyard. And I used to climb the tree and with salt and pepper and knife up the tree. And my sister and we used to sit down in the tree and eat mango.
So earlier you mentioned that there were the 6 races of Guyana. Could you explain how they all came to be together?
Yes, actually, So originally they had slaves, so that's how the Africans got there. The British,
They're first.
they were the first group brought in, but then they abolished slavery. So then they brought in the Portuguese, also because they were trying at that time. The Africans were mad at the British, obviously, so they were like burning fields and everything. So they were working on plantations. Usually in the Caribbean, it's like sugar plantations. So they're burning fields, and the British tried to get some heat off themselves. So they brought in the Portuguese and gave them land in addition to work. But I think, I'm not completely sure. I took a Caribbean history class. I think their bodies, their skin wasn't really made for that kind of climate. So they didn't work out well in terms of labor. So, and they didn't, because the Africans didn't really see them as much like similar to them. So they didn't see much difference between the British and the Portuguese in terms of skin color and getting land, because they were banned from getting land.
And Guyana is the only English-speaking country in South America.
Yes. And so then they brought in the Chinese, but the Chinese were intermarrying with the population, because I think they brought mostly men or only men. So they were intermarrying because they didn't have their spouses there. So then they brought in the Indians, and the Indians, our skin's darker, so we can work in the heat differently. They kind of tricked the Indians, where they got one leader to speak to the other Indians and promise them gold in Guyana, because Guyana is also known for gold. It was thought to be
diamond.
Yes, they're known for diamond. Now they found oil, so that's hopefully will help the country. But yes, they promised them land and gold, because they were super poor. Usually the people who came over were super poor, and they worked as indentured servants for a while, the Indians. Our ancestors are, I know my mom's mixed with different stuff, but I look pure Indian. My dad's mostly Indian too. My mom looks a little different. She light skin, because she has like other mixtures in there. Portuguese and Chinese, so we're also a mixture. Yeah, it's usually our mixtures in food and obviously intermarrying. Some people
All
intermarry.
right. Any last words before we wrap up?
I don't know. Try some Guyanese food. It's delicious.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you guys for showing off this craft. It looks delicious and actually really easy to do.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody for coming out today to join us for our In Your Neighborhood program. And I want you guys to know that we have some more programs coming up. Queens Historical Society is continuing to be virtual. We've got a computer history class coming up in March. Where we'll be focusing on the women's contributions to computer history. And we've got another program on the importance of air travel in Queens and the various airports that Queens has had over the years. And we'll also be doing another In Your Neighborhood program on the Greek Easter traditions. That will be in May. You can find details about all of these programs and upcoming programs on our website. And also on our website, you can become a member. Join the Queens Historical Society, and you'll get discounts and you'll support your cultural institutions. Anything else there, Aliana? And I think we're
Last thing, when COVID is finished, you guys can come over by Aliana and we show you how the pine tart is really made. So you understand, you see it, but sometimes you don't understand. But when you come over when COVID is finished,
you gotta smell it. All right, thank you guys for demonstrating, and thank you everybody for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You were great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.